Welcome to Superman Podcast. I'm Buckeye Jay. I'm here with my co-host Texas Buckeye. Hey, we
What
here.
up, yo, yo?
Yeah, we here to preview tomorrow's night CFP National Championship game between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Ohio State Buckeyes. So we want to go more in depth with each position groups, see who has the advantage. Ohio State offense versus Notre Dame's defense, and vice versa. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Texas Buckeye lead the show. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Hey, this is exciting, man. Just a month ago, we were left for dead. It was around Thanksgiving time, man, and Buckeye fans were down watching Penn State and Oregon play and it's Big Ten championship game. And we're like, man, this is another year we lost to Michigan, 4 in a row now. Down in the dumps, left for dead. The country was telling us how much we suck. Ryan Day was looking for a new house elsewhere, looking for a new job. Will Howard was already shipped off to purgatory. But yeah, here we are. Here we are. And I can say, like I said in last show, Buckeye John, hey, this is one of the two most esteemed, prestigious universities, man, to play in this game. So you couldn't get no better as far as having for the first full time playoff, which is to me is how it should be. Then we can go more into depth about the changes that need to be made to the playoff system, but overall, nobody can argue with the national championships here. If this had been played last year, Notre Dame and Ohio State when they made it, when they clearly won these games on the field and proved they were the best two teams. So we got the best two teams by what was done on the field, not by who voted them in, and not by favoritism. It was one on the field. So, but yeah, I'm super excited. We're less than 24 hours away from kickoff. Um, And I think for most Buckeye fans, you kind of figure, no, this is where we want it to be. We should be here, but you got to go out and earn it, and for Notre Dame, I mean, this is a chance for them to establish their relevancy as far as being back. They've all, Notre Dame is still Notre Dame, but they haven't won a title since '88. And being led by a former Buckeye captain at that. So definitely a lot of intriguing storylines that I'm going to be looking at. But definitely ready to get this, over underway. And just to add real quick, um, Buckeye J, I want to know where's Lou Holtz right now. I like to know where Lou Holtz is.
hey, I
You
heard
know,
he was going to the game. I heard he was
and
going to the game. Word on the street is Lou Holtz will be in attendance. Hey, he
that's
said
what I heard, man.
hey, I heard that after he said after Notre Dame beat Ohio State, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna step out in the field to greet Ryan Day himself, man.
Hey, I went down to bed. Neither one of them backing down from each other. Hey, and Lou Holtz, he mentioned that he said, "Hey, I was gonna be there in spirit, but now I'm bringing my body along." So hey, man, I gotta get Lou Holtz mad props. He probably having fun with this, man. Like the dude, 89 years old. He's like, man, look, man, I'm gonna live all my life to the fullest, man. But look, back props to Ryan Day. As much as hate he's got, as much as people dislike him for whatever reason, he's an excellent guy. The players love him, coaches love him. Nobody has anything bad to say about him, but he's at Ohio State. Everybody hates Ohio State because we run if not the prestigious university in the country with the biggest alumni base. And me and you specifically being, well, you're from Wisconsin, Oshkosh. But me
Nah,
being
nah.
born down the street from the holy
Hey,
ground itself.
hey,
I was born in Buckeye.
I was born in 774 South 22nd Street, Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, hey, I born right down the street, man. And Mount Cromwell. Matter of fact,
I was
Woody
at
Hayes.
St.
I came out. Woody Hayes once took me out of the womb. So hey, Buckeye blood, bro. This is what it is, man. And for all your folks out there that don't know, Ohio State, we run deep here, man. It is, we Buckeye, we real about ours, but this is gonna be a great game. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what takes place. Um, so yeah, I throw it back to you before I get to my analysis. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I'm ready.
Hey, I am too, man. You know, I've been a Buckeye since the day I was born, man. It's crazy, but this year, been honestly with all the talent that we have, I think it been a challenging year as far as from a coaching perspective. You know, Ryan Day going through what he went through, man, with the fan base and everybody else, man, the media. I mean, I feel bad for the guy, man, honestly, to the point where, like, after the Michigan game, man, I said something that ruffled a lot of feathers. I said, the way they was treating Ryan Day and treating these players, man, I told him, hey, if I'm a big time recruit, I'm not coming here, man. I'm not gonna put up with this stuff, man. But then looking back on it, I think I said was what I said. I still stand on that. But
Oh yeah, great. Yeah,
but now since these players are getting paid millions and millions of dollars, pretty much the NCAA is now minor league for the NFL. Now it's officially, you know.
yeah.
I think now the players are opening themselves to criticism now.
Well, I mean, my only thing is though, I don't think that for Ohio State Buckeye player, I don't think it was on the players when they lost some of these games. Most of these games, the Oregon game was definitely on the defense, and they
Right,
fixed that immediately. You know, Ryan Day went over there, to the defense side of the ball, and it helped Jim Knowles, and that defense has been playing lights out. Probably been playing the best defense by a Buckeye defensive ever in their history, and I can say that they've had some great defenses, but this is the best. This team can. It is very hard to run the ball, and they're number one in most of all categories, and we'll get more into that. But and then, after the Michigan game, the defense played great. It was the offensive coaching that put the team in a bad spot, and the team let the coaches know about that. So, yeah, players are still players. They're still young players, even though money's involved, but they're still kids, And so I think the coaching is a lot of lies on that. But again, I mean, I understand your point there. Fans need to be we need to be grateful for one, because I don't think since I've been a Buckeye fan, since I've been born, this is the winningest stretch we've had as far as high competition. Even in John Cooper's heydays, we weren't playing high competition year in and out. Even Urban Meyer's heyday, we weren't playing. Jim Tressel's heydays, we weren't playing a high competition year in and out. Outside
right,
of championship years, we may win the Rose Bowl against some second tier great teams, but not against the big dogs. I remember
right,
USC smashing us when we had Tressel. And then Urban Meyer, he gonna lose one a year to an unranked team. That's a given. So you
right,
know, fans need to be grateful of Ryan Day, who's 69-10, has the highest percentage of a coach at his age in history of college football, and he hasn't done it. And he's played against great teams too. He's not. We're in a national title hunt every year, and people say it's Ohio State. Well, he's taking the Ohio State to another level than Meyer had it.
right.
It's way better defensively. It's better offensively. You're getting the top tier recruits. You're getting the top of the top recruits. And so, you can't just say because they're Ohio State, well, somebody at Ohio State has to recruit them players, has to make them players great. We weren't getting great quarterbacks under Herb Meyer, outside running quarterbacks.
Oh,
And the great quarterback we had under Tressel, outside Terrell was Troy, who they really wasn't even going to play a quarterback at first. They brought him as an athlete. He was returning kicks when he first got there.
right, exactly.
So, Ryan Day deserves a lot of credit, and he's a young coach. The man is just barely, he's under 45 years old, 43 years old, man. One of the highest ranked. So, Buckeye fans need to be very grateful for what they have. Be thankful that we're even in this position to be where we can, play for, big time win, playing big time games and play for championships.
I totally,
So
I totally agree with you with everything you said. You know what I'm saying? Like, look who he lost to. People don't pay attention to that. He lost half his losses came against champions. So,
yep,
and
yep,
then
championship.
lost to Oregon, this year, who was the number one ranked team in the country for most of the year. So,
Right. By
and,
1 point on the road.
right, on the road, a game, honestly, it was an evenly matched game. Ohio State kept shooting themselves in the foot. Those mistakes, when they played the second time around, they did make those mistakes, and look what happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Totally agree. Totally agree.
yeah. So, I want your take, what you looking forward to tomorrow night from give me your analysis on what each team has to do to win the game tomorrow night.
Well, I think it starts off that both of these teams have had some adversity. So, they're both hardened teams. This is not going to be a battle of two teams that I know there's a talent mismatch in this game a little bit. People say that, but this game is going to be one on hard. Notre Dame has won, 13 in a row, something like that, 12 in a row. They've beaten a lot of ranked teams, and they are very, 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 very well coached. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're very sound. They remind me of the 02 Ohio State team a little bit that beat Miami. So no, this is not going to be just okay. Ohio State has out talent. They're going to just out there like Tennessee, Oregon. No, even the Oregon game that was kind of more of a shell shock. But
Yeah.
this game has to be earned by Ohio State. The other thing too is one thing I'm going to be looking at is the lines of scrimmage specifically for Notre Dame. Ohio State is very, very good defensively, and they're going to have portions of the game where they're going to put the pressure on Notre Dame as far as their offense versus Notre Dame's defense. But it really comes down to Notre Dame's offense versus Ohio State's defense, because Notre Dame is a running team. And the thing that can get Ohio State in trouble a little bit is that Notre Dame is not. You got to be careful how you rush in this game. You can't just rush the field and try to. You have to. Your focus has to be. Instead of getting sacks, it has to be to stay contained.
Yeah.
Because Riley Leonard is not someone who's going to drop back and plant his back foot and make a third down read and over the middle of the field or whatever. And he's got some good receivers in Greyhouse and stuff, but you have to be really, really fundamental in this game. Because if you break contain, he's a great athlete. I mean, the dude was also a top recruit in basketball. He's a big boy, he's 6'4", about 220, about big as Will Howard. So I mean, you're gonna have to he's gonna run the ball. And you're going to have to you're going to have to get him down. If you can't stop him running the ball and they get a rhythm where they can run the clock, because I guarantee you, if I'm Notre Dame, my main goal is to run that ball a lot. I mean, I'm talking about 80% to 20%.
Yep. Shorten the game.
Shorten the game and run that clock.
Yeah.
Because if I can get to where, Ohio State has one possession or maybe 3 possessions in the first half, that's all I need. But they're gonna run that clock with that big old line. They're not going to change their stripes. They're going to do what got them here. What got them to 12 wins in a row. But beat Georgia, but beat Indiana, but beat Penn State. They're going to do that. Now Penn State could have should have got them. So, but Ohio State has to be careful. They have to be really focused on stopping that run the whole game, which Ohio State's defense can do. But you also got to be careful not to commit so much to the box to where you're giving up the back end throws. That we seen last week. That Greyhouse came through for them and had some big plays. So it's really going to be a game plan of, from Marcus Freeman. He's going to have those guys, get them hyped up and tell them, hey, look, this is a battle of wills. Notre Dame's going to play this game like Michigan played it. Keep it tight. Bring Ohio State into deep water. Make it muddy for them.
Right.
If you're Ohio State, you have to be able to score points as much as you can. You cannot leave any possessions on the field because you might not get many possessions in this game.
That's true. Because Notre Dame. They're going to try to shorten that clock, like you stated.
Right. So, and Notre Dame is not going. They're not going to just stay out. They're going to go man press. They're probably going to do it. If I was down, I'm going to cover 2. They're going to probably do cover 2. Then they're probably going to. I'd have to do 1 high. It'd be hard to go 150 high because you're not so much worried about what happens with Ibuka and double teaming him. I'm sorry, with Jeremiah Smith, you're worried about Ibuka and Cornell Tate and G. Scott because them 3, the 3rd and 4th guys, the options. This year, everybody says, well, Notre Dame played him last year close. Well, no, it's a different team. Kyle McCord is not a runner in Ohio State. When Marvin Harrison got hurt, they're going to Cage Stover and going to, Julian Fleming, really. Buka's the number 1 receiver. Now, Buka's number 2. And so you got Cornell Tate. You also got Ennis and you got G. Scott that can kill you. And they have proven they can kill you. So Notre Dame has to be careful with that. And Ohio State's probably going to spread them out a lot. I expect a lot of make them move a lot on the field, make them have to tackle on space.
Yep.
Just so you get it in second and 6 and 3rd and 30 short, because now you're keeping your offense on the field. If it's going to be any clock bleeding, then you want to do the clock bleeding, but you want to score in your possession. But it has to finish with a touchdown. The drives have to finish for touchdowns. That's what's going to happen. That's what Ryan Day's telling his guys. We have to score the ball. Because we cannot give up, empty possessions in the game. Or they do a good job of not turning the ball over. But for Ohio State, you want to get them in 3rd and long possessions. But the 4th quarter, is the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter. 4th quarter really is going to be tough for Ohio State. That's where the game is going to probably be won, because it's going to be who is the best condition, who's not tired. Because Notre Dame's going to force feed that run. They're not going to stop that. So Ohio State, I don't think we played a full. I mean, we didn't play Wisconsin this year. It was full. We used to be full run. Now Michigan, yeah, Michigan had 30 something carries for 100 something yards, 3 yards a carry. That's Notre Dame's. That's their road to win.
Yeah, I totally agree. Notre Dame, what they're going to try to do is shorten the game. Um, I feel like that's the only way for them to win. I think me personally, looking at the matchups, I don't see how Notre Dame scored more than 17 points, in my opinion. That's just my opinion and what I've seen as far as the eye test. Because just like as you stated, Ohio State, this might be Ohio State's best defense ever. I mean, 241 yards a game, 12.2 points per game. So, and they also giving up a nation low 3.9 yards per play. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Three
they're ridiculous defense.
that's
Yeah,
3.9 yards per play. That's insane. And
and
so
done it against great teams too. This ain't
right.
against this no let's support the poor. This is against some great teams. You're right.
And
You
so
know,
I look at it like Notre Dame needs to, like they did a year ago. They did that this last year against Ohio State. They shortened the game and forced, and Ohio State couldn't move the ball in that second half. So me, I'm gonna go into
now
my objective.
Notre Dame. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go into some objectives. I want your opinion on it as far as keys to the game for both
Uh-huh.
teams. And so
I mean, for me, I think the first thing's going. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, keys to the game. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see you. Um, well, yeah, you can establish the run, show a threat of a passing game, control Ohio State receivers, prevent big plays, and play a clean game. Those are excellent keys. That's really for sure the main keys for Notre Dame to win this game. I agree with all those. The control of how the receivers is going to be different though, because this is the best receivers Notre Dame played all year.
Right,
And I know everybody say Penn State, they kept them under lock, like Penn State down. Penn State still should have won that game,
right,
even
exactly.
with
Penn
those
State was able to run
receivers.
the ball. Penn State was able to
Right,
run the ball, which is they just didn't have
right.
a threat of a passing game.
Now Notre Dame showed me something about beating Georgia,
Yeah,
but I just think that Ohio State, like, I'm very interested to see how they're going to play. I don't think anybody could play Ohio State better than Texas can. But everybody says Jeremiah Smith was shut down that game, but he really wasn't because you pretty much took out your best two defensive players, at least in the secondary, and had him we put 2-on-1
hmm
and make this a game of 8-on-8 at that point or whatever you want to call it. Because now or 10 or 9-on-9 because now them three ain't playing the game basically because they committed two guys to Jeremiah Smith, sometimes three the whole time. But Jeremiah Smith, he might have not had no catches, the many catches, but what he did, he affected the offense the defense to where they focused on him so much. Cornell Tate was going off, Jerry Harrison went off, G.
yeah,
Scott went off. You gonna, but to me, that's the way you play. That's the way you got to play Ohio State, and it has to be zone. That's why I say I think Notre Dame goes cover two because you put that secondary safety over top of Jeremiah Smith, and they got a good one. They got a good one back there though, in freaking
Morrison
Xavier
or Watt.
Watts. Now the DB though is great. The freshman is a beast.
Yeah,
Uh,
only
and
issue. This is spot. I have a question for you. You can answer this. So
mhm.
Notre Dame play 80% man coverage. I know they got different variants of man coverage they can run, but the issue is you can't play zone if you don't practice it. So, do you think Notre Dame practiced zone during the course of the year, or do you think? I think it's going to be hard for them if they never. I haven't seen them play zone all year. Or
they're,
they,
they're not. They're not. They're not. You cannot play just man to man against Ohio State. It's not even about guard Jeremiah Smith.
right,
Like who gonna guard G. Scott?
right,
Who gonna guard Harrison out the backfield? Like you can't. You just don't have enough weapons for that. Like I said, it's probably gonna be some level of cover two. What I would do is use zone the cover two dudes. Nothing over top. You cannot man to man the cover. You cannot man to man to safety. You just cannot do that.
right.
You cannot go man to man on safety. It has to be man to man and then cover. It's basically a cover two. Man to man cover and my two safeties high. It cannot be one safety high because you just
Oh,
don't have you don't have enough guys to be able to defend that kind of speed on the field, especially for Cornell Tate and G. Scott. When they put G. Scott in that they split them out wide.
Right.
He's essentially, and Trevon Henderson catch the ball in the backfield as well. So, and then Will Howard is also a key a key running threat. And now he can run all day long. He ain't got to worry about saving his body. And so my thing is that if you're Notre Dame, it's got to be cover two. It's two safeties high, and we don't give up nothing deep.
Right.
That's how it's gonna be.
Pretty
And
much.
then man to man underneath, man to man underneath. That's
Yeah.
how it's gonna be.
But Ohio State is notorious for those crossing routes, so that'd be dangerous.
That's
They don't want
that
that.
is true. Well, that's true. So sometimes you may have to. That's what Al go. And keep in mind, Al Golden is also a pretty good genius at this shit too. He knows it ain't the only G in this game. Al Golden is also a G. He got some tricks up his sleeve. So he'll move some guys around. He may show a cover three and pull out, make it be cover two. Man, he may show his own, but it's a man.
Right.
He gonna have some shit. He gonna have some shit dialed up.
Right.
So for Will Howard, he's gonna be patient. He gonna have to trust his eyes and not make a mistake. But
Right.
they're gonna be really good at changing the picture. Um, and I thought that Texas was great. I thought Texas did an excellent job, man. They played their asses off, man, that game. Will Howard was solving that shit though. He did a one pick, but he was getting some shit. But I don't think Notre Dame has the athletes that Texas got. That's the thing. That's the problem. Like I know if they couldn't go man to man, I have a problem with Notre Dame going man to man against this kind of talent level, man.
Right.
They ain't seen it like this before.
The problem with the
You know,
Texas game,
so,
the problem at the Texas game was Ohio State kept shooting themselves in the foot. I,
oh
time
yeah,
to get
yeah,
with penalties and all that.
yeah. And
They kept,
I can't do it. They can't do this game. You cannot get a penalty this game because you cannot be in those where you have 5, 6 penalties. That cannot be this game because you will lose because the fact that Notre Dame is not going again. They're not going to give you a lot of possessions. Like as you said, John, your keys to success is very crucial. If you're Notre Dame, establish that run, get Jeremiah Love going early, but you're going to have to use two backs though because I don't see him taking that pounding, man, just for them small amount of yards. 30 carries. It ain't gonna work. Now Michigan got away with it with the running back who had 30 carries. That's a big boy back there.
dude, that was
Jeremiah Love,
I looked
Jeremiah Love, Jeremiah Love is a sprinter. He's a track guy.
right with Fitz in Ohio State hands because you can't. It's going to be hard. Like Notre Dame, like if they try to run outside, they're going to get eaten alive. And then
And Oh yeah, and I got actually, John. What did Jeremiah Love do rushing wise against Penn State?
he did nothing. He had that
See,
one. He had that one good touchdown, which he broke off like 5 tackles to get 2 yards, which
that's right. Yeah,
one of the most impressive runs I've seen in the playoffs because he
yeah. That was like Braxton style against Penn State a couple of years back.
yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. I give him that. But man, you talking about a whole other ball game. This is the problem though too, man. Like Abdul Carter had his way against Notre Dame, bro.
He
And my
did.
and my thing is, you got two of these kind of cats like that in this game. You got Jack Sawyer and you got Talik. And JT. But the problem really lies is that them two is nice, but it all starts with Talik Williams, man. And he's been the most single dominant defensive lineman in his whole playoff.
Yeah.
How they get pushed up the middle so much that you had no choice but to JT and to Sawyer walk right into the sacks. I
Right.
mean, they can't get nothing up the middle against him and Edric Houston, who's also just a freshman.
That's why I said
You know what I'm saying?
future
I
as
mean,
eventually I think they'll be fine.
oh yeah, and then the linebackers are superb. Again, if you even get past that, you got to know what Jeremiah Love got to deal with Cody Simon. You got to deal with Sonny Style. I mean, Ransom coming down the box. Again, if you cannot do it against Penn State, it can get ugly for Notre Dame. And you're right. They got to establish a run, but I just feel that that's the one part of this game that's not going to be here unless it's Riley Leonard running the ball. It better be a lot of option and a lot of read option, a lot of pitch option and read option, because you want to make Ohio State make a mistake on defense and make them sell out.
Me personally, I think Notre Dame have to get. They need to try to generate some explosive plays. They're not going to beat Ohio State just by trying to run the ball first, second, and third down, or run the ball on first and second down and pass on third. Ohio State's defense is too good for that. They need to try to manufacture. They're gonna have to put some trick plays in. They're gonna have to do something. Michigan got lucky.
Yeah.
Michigan got lucky because Chip Kelly did not call a good. He did not call a good game against Michigan at all.
Well, and then also too, Michigan also had two first round draft picks in that D line. So
Yeah,
this
that's what
just make
I'm
sure
saying.
we address that. And people forget, man, Michigan defense from last year is one of the best historically ever.
Yeah.
You had one of the DBs from that last year's championship team that had two interceptions yesterday for the Commanders, by the way, and Saren Steele. So I
Mike
mean,
Still.
yeah, yeah. So I mean,
The
like
old receiver. He was a receiver.
right. Yeah, that's right. He was a receiver. Yeah. So I mean, so I'm just trying to tell you. I mean, like, there's no other team that has that. If you ain't got that in your defense, you can't use Michigan's game plan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just ain't gonna work. Tennessee they had what all we hear from them? We were on 10 dudes, best defense in the SEC, and they got smashed.
Yeah, because you
Smashed.
can't guard that perimeter.
Right.
Ohio State
Now,
made Tennessee guard the perimeter.
I am still a little iffy on Ohio State's offensive line because it's still
Yeah.
a makeshift. I mean, they did an excellent job, but now you're going against a physical team. Can you do it one more time? Can we see it one more time? That's what I want to see. Give me one more again. And
Oh,
and we can get that one more again. And then I feel this is ours to lose.
I totally agree. I mean, it's going to be a game. That's for sure. I mean, like Notre Dame must Notre Dame needs to try to manufacture big plays. I don't see a way in which they have zero big plays and have a chance to win unless they run the ball consistently effectively good during the course of the game, which I don't see that either. Ohio State's giving up only 53 yards a game in the playoffs rushing the ball. That's unbelievable. And the most they given up was that first game against
I, and you gotta get touchdowns. You cannot get no field goals against this defensive team.
uh if Notre Dame.
How's the defense is really really good. I mean, they were like I said, they're one of the best ever I've seen, and this is a great defense. And you just ain't get they got studs everywhere, man. The
Right.
only weakness they really got is just you can say the secondary, but the secondary they got them all pros, bro. They're pros, and so
Right.
but you got to get the ball there. You got to be able to get the ball there. And if it's a quick passing game, um, but yeah, I mean, we have to see. I mean, but like I said, I think Ohio State definitely has an advantage. But again, for Notre Dame's key to win, they have to do like you mentioned here. Control the OSU receivers, keep everything in front of them, no big plays, and play a clean game. And you got to establish that running game where by land or by sea. It's got to be Riley Leonard running the ball. It's got to be some some pop passes. It's got to be quarterback draws. I expect Brian Leary to carry the ball at least 22, 23, 24 times,
Let
like
me
JT Barrett.
I watched Notre Dame in the playoffs. Um, one player that nobody talks about, he's their third running back, Aeneas Williams. I
He's a
think
good player.
the one thing that Texas hurt us on was the passes to the running back out of the backfield. Um,
Yeah, but that's what the threat of the pass. If
yeah,
you're worried about Michael Golden and these other cats coming across, and what's the other receiver they had that's real good? Yeah, Bob
Isaiah Bond.
Bond. Yeah, and the tight end. Then yeah, but if you're not worried about that, you can commit somebody to the linebacker, you can linebacker
Yeah,
over there, and you ain't worried about them beating you. I mean, there's a lot Notre Dame has to overcome to beat Ohio State. Um,
hey,
and just after watching the Penn State game, I don't know if I have a lot of faith in them to do that.
yeah, Notre Dame
Um,
don't have the weapons to go deep. I think it has to be busted coverage. I think honestly, I think pass interference calls, if you can get that, will be considered a big play for Notre Dame in the passing game.
well, yeah, and if I'm Notre Dame, I'm definitely taking my shots at Amen. Shit, hell yeah,
You know why?
Amen
He's known
Olsen,
for holding. He's
yeah,
notorious for
Inberg,
holding.
yeah. I definitely take my shots at them because I mean it's gonna be there for you to do so.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
think
again, they're here in this game, so they're not. This is not no weak team. They are here in they made their way here. They earned this, man, and they by winning against great teams, and
exactly.
so they are to be respected.
I agree, man. I mean, Notre Dame is here for a reason. They remind me. How can I put this? I won't even say Naval Academy, but I mean, it's weird. They're a more athletic version of the Naval Academies. They're not going to beat themselves. They're going to run the ball. They take the if the passing game is there for them to take, I think they will take it. I mean,
Hmm.
like they got scrubs at wide receiver. They're just not up to Ohio State standards. Like compared to Ohio State, the receivers are not as good. So,
Yeah,
but Ohio
yeah,
State DBs, Ohio State is able to. If Ohio State is able to stop the run with six guys, probably a seven. If you bring Caleb Downs or Lathan Ransom down, Ohio State will win it easily. In my book, just because they don't, they able to they control on the line of scrimmage. Um,
hmm,
so speaking on keys to the game, we just did Notre Dame. Uh, This is my Buckeye keys to the game. So stay true to yourself offensively. What I mean is Ohio State, no matter Notre Dame's going, like you said, as you stated earlier in the show, you stated that Notre Dame might change the picture. They got different variants of man coverage. Cover two, you know, you can't play single high, not against Ohio State, but you can change. It could turn into a single high. You got two, you bring one down into the box. I mean, it's different variants of man coverage that Notre Dame runs. So Ohio State must stay true to who they are. They're a pass first team, and that's who they are. They're a pass, open up the run, and that's what they've been doing during the course of the playoffs. They must create a running game. Um, I mean, you don't have to necessarily. What I mean by creating a running game, you don't have to. You can add some trickery in there, reverses to Jeremiah Smith. Because I think if you go, you can't do what you did against Michigan and expect to win this game. Notre Dame is better. They better offensively than Michigan is. So if you
yeah.
do that same type of game plan, you will get beat.
I
Um,
totally agree.
and then stopping the run, I think whoever stops the run, whoever stops the run wins the game. So I feel like whoever run for more yards wins this game. It been like that. Except for I think Ohio State has more room for error than Notre Dame do, just because they're more explosive in the passing game. And so,
Hmm.
and then another thing I put too was force Riley Leonard to throw the ball from the pocket, not on a run, from the pocket, because I don't think he's an accurate quarterback. He struggled mightily against Penn State, even though he had 223 yards. He had one touchdown and two picks, but those two picks, one touchdown he had was on a busted coverage, and then those two picks was horrendous. He's not a good thrower of the ball. I mean,
Well, yes. I mean, like you said, but if you force him into third and longs, that means you guys start the running game first, second down to where he has to throw. And Jim Knowles is going to cook up some stuff. We're going to disguise a lot for Riley Leonard. OSU doesn't need. They don't need to. They don't need to be goofy in how to do this stuff. Just be who you've been being the whole playoff. But you're right though, Buckeye John. I don't necessarily think Ohio State needs to create a running game here. I think the running game is going to be able to be. There's going to be some running game shots there because the fact that the receivers are so good. Notre Dame has to keep an eye on those. Um, but I think that the simple fact that they can that there are going to be some plays for the in the running game, just like they did against Oregon, just like it did against Tennessee, just like it did against Texas. Ohio State's done an excellent job of getting finding spots to get that running game going. And you got Will Howard, who's an X factor to run the ball up in this game. But I think the number one thing in this here, the number key thing is you got to be careful. You got to keep the penalties low, and you cannot have no turnovers. Will Howard is pretty much averaging a turnover per game, so you can almost bet on a turnover happening. But you have to take care of the ball in a game like this because their style of play again is going to the more you give them opportunities, that means the less you're going to see the ball. They are going to shorten the game as much as they can. If they're going to go out, they're going to make sure that you're not going to use all your bullets either. So I think that's probably number one on the list is protect the ball and and don't turn the ball over, and then stay to what you've been doing offensively. Those are key. And then force Riley Leonard to throw and then stopping the run on defense. Running game, I'm not too concerned about that. Go, you got playmakers. Get the ball to your playmakers.
Yeah,
No
that's
matter
true.
what that is. Get the ball to Jeremiah Smith, get the ball to Buka, get the ball to Trayvon Hanson, Quinn all these niggas you got. I'm sorry, excuse me, I know we live. All these bars you got, get them the ball. Get them the ball. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it.
Hey,
But yeah, like I said, Notre Dame is this is gonna be we're gonna have to earn this one. Notre Dame is a tough team, very good team.
they are.
Yeah,
Hey, I have a
so it's
question,
just
a trivia question for you. You might know
hmm
the answer, you might not know. Since the beginning of the CFP playoffs, or actually, I won't even say it. Since since the beginning of the CFP playoff, most of these games, national title games, have been blowouts for the most part. Um, there have been like three games that was less than 10 points. The last 3 or 4 national championship games been total disasters. We was the last national championship game to be have been the outcome was less than 2 scores.
a close game.
Yep.
Well, let's see. It wouldn't have been last year. Michigan Washington was a close game a little bit, wasn't it? No, it was a blowout.
Michigan, it was a blowout. Michigan won by 3 touchdowns. It was 34-13.
How about before that would have been Georgia TCU? That was a blowout. Before that would have been
I give you, I give you,
Alabama Georgia. No,
I
I know what it is. I know what it is. It would have been Alabama Georgia 2018.
you are correct, my man. Hey,
Yeah.
I was. Hey,
Yeah.
yep, you was right. 20. Hey, it was 26-23 Alabama in overtime. Devontae Smith, 45-yard touchdown catch from Tua in overtime that won them the walk off score. So, so in the history of the CFP, they have been all the national title games have been blowouts. So
Pretty much, yeah. Because next year,
going back to my championship prediction, this is my championship prediction right here. But I want to hear your prediction.
well,
Texas Buckeye.
I think the last couple of championships, well, I mean, Alabama and Georgia was the 2022 matchup. But Alabama had a good team. Georgia, I mean, the 15 point, that can happen when you have momentum. And then the Buckeyes, when they lost to Bama, um, momentum was there. But I think that in this game here, this is going to remind me, like, if I look at Notre Dame compared to Washington and TCU, of course, better than TCU defensively. Um, Washington had a way better passing quarterback. I don't know if Ohio State would score. If Notre Dame cannot control the ground game and control that clock, if Ohio State scores efficiently such a game like they did against Tennessee and Oregon, this is going to be like a 45 to 3. Notre Dame might not even get, they might get one touchdown, but it's going to be hard for them to score the ball if they cannot throw it. My thing is, I know Michigan got away, but Michigan only keep in mind Michigan got 13 points. People keep thinking, oh, Michigan beat Ohio State, they beat them 13-10, bro, and they
Right.
didn't score offensive touchdown. So I don't see Notre Dame getting. I don't see them getting over 13 points. They may get one touchdown, if that, if that. And I'm going to go 42-13 Ohio State. Brian Day leaves, no doubt.
Hey, I mean, I know I'm a homer, but I mean, I'm speaking from football terms and the eye test and what I've seen during the course of the year, and I'm seeing what I've seen during the course of these playoffs. I mean, even Notre Dame fans probably will agree on our prediction just because. Ohio State, Ohio State is well coached. People don't understand. Ohio State is one of the least penalized teams in the country, which is
Hmm.
unbelievable for a Ohio State team that has those type of athletes to be one of the least penalized teams in the country. That's why, as we were stating against Texas, that was uncharacteristic of Ohio State, how they was getting these penalties. That single-handedly pretty much kept Texas in the game. Um, Even though Ohio State controlled the game against Texas, but Texas was holding on to their life just because Ohio State had all those penalties.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I agree with your take. You said 42. You said 42-13.
42-13. Hmm.
Yeah, I had 34-16. Um, I think a couple of those drives might turn into field goals, but I think overall, Notre Dame. I don't see how Notre Dame score over 17 points in this game.
I,
Um,
I agree. I agree, Buckeye John. I mean, I just think that it's going to be. Look at the games Notre Dame's play. I mean, it's just going to be unless you have somebody comes and dominates. You're able to run the ball at will, which nobody's done against Ohio State all year. I just don't see this. And people got to be careful about gauging this with other teams, like great teams. Like I know when people say, "Oh, to Miami and Ohio State," but
right,
you had a playoff. So back then, back in the previous years, you can't just go off of what you've seen because the conference plays were different. People play their conference, play the two they play, and then they may meet up based on the vote, made up based on who was voted in.
right.
But Ohio State and Notre Dame beat good teams to get here, but Ohio State beat the
They
better
did.
teams.
I
Ohio
think the
State beat the better
problem.
teams. I mean, I think Ohio State teams they beat. First of all, you beat Tennessee that bad. Georgia doesn't prove a lot to me for Georgia. Number two, they beat Oregon. Then you beat Texas.
Right, that's the hardest road. That's the
At
hardest
their place.
road.
Yeah, at their place. And I don't think that even Notre Dame beating Georgia, like, it just showed that Georgia wasn't the best team in the country. They should be number one ever. But
Ohio State
Texas was
played
good.
on their side of the bracket. Ohio State, every team Ohio State played was the higher seed. They played outside of Tennessee. Tennessee was a 9 seed, but the
Right.
highest
Well,
remaining team
no, that
on
was the
their
higher
side of
seed
the
than
bracket.
Ohio State.
Ohio State
And
played. Ohio State played
yeah,
the 9 seed, the first seed,
right.
and the fifth seed. That's all the highest rated teams
Yeah,
on their
I
side.
agree.
Notre
Yeah.
Dame, on the other hand, play play 11 seed. They play 11 seed. Who else they play? They play Georgia, who was the second seed, and then yeah, they play all the higher seeds as well on their side.
Yeah, 'cause I think Penn State was the
Six,
50, 60. Okay.
6 seed. Texas
Yeah.
was fifth seed. So both teams came in. They played the highest seeds on their side of the bracket. Um, so I mean, I'm not going to downright downgrade Notre Dame. They're a good team.
No, definitely not. Yeah, they're a good team. They earned their way here. I'm
Right.
like you. I also think, I mean, maybe 42-13 is a little bit more, but I don't see them getting a lot of points. I mean, the defense for Ohio State is so good. It should be more talked about than the offense, honestly.
Yeah, I think the problem with
And keep in mind, nobody scored over 20 points at Ohio State except for Oregon this season.
yeah, Oregon's the only team that scored over 20 points against Ohio State all year, which they scored 21 in the Rose Bowl, which that was that pretty much was
Garbage time.
yeah garbage time points. It was 34-0 with a blink in the eye. It was 34
Mhm.
nothing with 8 minutes left to halftime. So
Yeah.
I mean, and then you had like you said in Oregon the first time around they scored 32.
Yeah, I don't see Notre Dame doing none of that. They're not getting above. I'm with you, John. I don't see how they get 17, but they're not definitely. I don't think they can even get 13. I think the third, like I said, 42-13 is what I picked.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna need some Notre Dame need to have some trickery up their sleeve. I think if they run their base offense or run a game plan against Ohio State, they will it'll be a blowout. They're gonna have to factor in. They need to do what they did against Georgia times two.
Yeah, but OSU got more weapons in Georgia. Like I
Yeah,
said,
but they did.
they're the weakness with the receivers. They don't have good receivers.
They don't. But they made Notre Dame did some trickery in that game as well. Um, they had the fake. They had the so-called fake. I won't even say it was a fake punt. So they looked like they was going to punt. They rushed their offense in and drew a penalty on Georgia. And then they had a kick return. Special teams might play. Only way they stay in this game if they chose special teams. So Notre Dame need a score on special teams to stay in it, honestly. And I just don't see how that happened because Ohio State is pretty good in kick return and punt return yardage.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, it's going to be a very difficult. I mean, there's a path for them to win, but that path is small.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you on that.
Man,
Well, brother, it's almost time.
yes, sir. We have less than 24 hours until
Yeah.
history will be made. The
Will
first
you be up to do it post game after the game, or how you want to do it?
we can do it. Nope, we're doing right after the game, man. Going right
I'm
into
down
it,
for it.
man. Yes, we're going
I'm all
right
for
into
it.
it, man.
Well, go ahead and send out the invite, man, for it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it, man.
All
Hey,
righty.
TikTok is back. We had a funeral for TikTok yesterday, and all of a sudden they rose from the dead. Can you believe that?
I know, man. Hey, it's only for they got 90 days though, so
Back in death row, might stop the death
yeah,
row.
right. Hey, this is crazy, man.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you.
Hey, only thing no TikTokers gonna do is go to YouTube, make their videos on YouTube. What they gonna do? Ban YouTube next?
Yeah, but YouTube, I think it's American owned, opposed to TikTok, which is Chinese owned, and they do the
Yeah,
whole thing with protecting the interest in the Commonwealth.
right. It's all about the
But
money. That's all it is.
there's that too. So,
Chinese
but all
make.
right, man,
All right, brother.
go Bucks. We'll
Go
see what happens
Bug.
tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Later.
Later.